What's going on, guys? Nathan here, and today I'm going to teach you how to quickly turn $50 into $10,000 playing poker. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so one of the most common questions I get asked these days is how do you turn a small amount of money, such as $50, into a relatively large amount of money like $10,000. So today I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step poker hand showing you the exact strategy that I would be using in order to quickly turn a small amount of money into a large amount of money. So let's jump into it right now. Guys, the most important thing that you need to know is you need to make smart, calculated bluffs as you move up the stakes. Now let me state the obvious, guys. As you move up the stakes these days, you are increasingly going to be playing against highly skilled and in some cases world-class opponents. You're not going to be able to quickly turn $50 into $10,000 by playing against completely clueless beginners like you'll find at the very lowest stakes, because that's why they're playing at the lowest stakes, because the skill level is incredibly low. If you want to make a lot of money in poker, you're going to have to play mid and high stakes games against really solid competition who is watching videos like this, and therefore you're going to have to learn the art of telling believable stories, aka bluffing, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. So let me give you a hand here. You have Queen of Hearts, Jack of Spades in middle position in a $1, $2 cash game. You raise it up to $6 and a nit calls you in the big blind. Now I'm not going to go deep into player types in this video. I cover that in detail in my free poker cheat sheet, which will be the top link in the description below. But suffice it to say, the nit is one of my 5 major poker player types. This is the tightest player at the table. This is also going to be one of your most common opponents as you move up the stakes. This is not a recreational poker player. This is somebody who takes the game seriously. It's not the most optimal strategy. The most optimal strategy is loose and aggressive. That's what I teach and everything that I put out. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, actually, because we're going to be running a big bluff against this player. So flop comes down with the 9 of Hearts, King of Spades, and 5 of Clubs. What should you do in a spot like this? Well guys, this is just a standard spot where you want to be continuing the aggression. So when the nit player checks to you, as they're going to check to you most of the time, on this flop of 9, King, 5, rainbow meaning 3 different suits, you just want to be making a standard C-bet in this situation. I would typically bet around half pot. So for example, $1, $2 game, pot's going to be around $12 on the flop here. I'm just going to bet $6, try to take it down. We have a gut shot straight draw on this flop with our Queen Jack offsuit. And more importantly though, guys, is that I hope you guys already noticed that this flop hits our range much more heavily as the pre-flop raiser than it does their range as the pre-flop caller. Now once again, I'm not going to go deep into that in this video. I cover that at length in all of my poker books, my brand new Elite Poker Training University, and everything of that sort. I'll include links to that in the description below. But let's assume that the nit just calls us here, because it's not a very interesting video if we just take the pot down right now. So the nit calls, turn comes with the 6 of diamonds. What should you do now? Well guys, this is all about making them a believer. When the nit checks to you again on the 9, King, 5, 6 rainbow board on the turn here, you often just want to be keeping your foot on the gas pedal in this game. So that means double barreling, as we call it in poker, betting again on the turn. And I really like to turn up the heat in these situations, specifically when I'm betting again on the turn and river, because I want them to know I'm serious. So I'm not going to be betting 50% of the pot here. I typically bet around 75% of the pot here. So say the pot is around $20 now. I'm going to be betting $15 in this situation, letting them know I'm serious. We're not screwing around anymore. The reason why we want to be betting here again, guys, is because a lot of regulars these days will call you on the flop with one of these weaker hands, maybe something like a 9-8, for example, or maybe a pocket 7s. Guys, we need to always remember that a king is just a very small portion of the range here. However, if we can make another bet on the turn or river, we can often get them out of here. This has been one of the biggest profit sources for me over the years in beating these regular players, is really just barreling them out, because I often know they're going to call me on the flop and they're just kind of waiting around to see if I can keep my foot on the gas pedal on the turn and river. And often if I can, which I do a lot, they're going to go away. They're going to give me the benefit of the doubt. So that's why I will often barrel again here. But let's assume that the nit calls you again. So guys, at this point, real alarm bells need to be going off in your mind here. This player is not screwing around. Guys, basically this player is saying at this point that I have a king, I have some sort of strong pair, maybe a pocket tens, pocket jacks, I have some sort of decent draw on this board. I think you guys get the idea. This player's not screwing around anymore. This player's not in there with pocket fours, they're not in there with ace high. Remember, we're playing against a regular opponent here, and when they call us twice here, they definitely have something. So the nit calls, river comes down with a very interesting card, the ace of hearts. What should you do? Well guys, I'm going to be honest, most of the time when a nit calls my double barrel, I'm going to be giving up on the river simply because I think they've got something pretty strong and they're probably going to call me down. However, not on this particular river card. Guys, this is the river card in particular where I'm going to be emptying the clip, so to speak, and firing the third shell, the triple barrel bluff, because honestly guys, even though we don't have anything on this board, that doesn't matter. You should be bluffing big here for the simple reason that we know that there are almost zero hands in this player's range that they're going to be able to call us with on this river. Guys, when you're thinking through a poker hand and deciding what to do in a crucial situation like this on the river, you always want to bring it back to the start of the hand and ask yourself, what is this player's likely range? Guys, remember the pre-flop action in this hand was raise and call. There was no 3-bet, there was no 4-bet, meaning that all of these big cards like an ace, a king, these are very unlikely to be in this player's range, because if they had a hand like ace king or ace queen, they would almost certainly have re-raised us before the flop, meaning that this player is very likely hanging on with some sort of mediocre hand like a king jack, like a 9-8, like a pocket tens. None of these hands want to see this ace of hearts on the river, guys. This is a horrible card, and therefore we are likely to be able to get this player to fold their far superior hand. Remember, we have nothing here. We have queen high, and we can win a medium-sized pot. Guys, you need to understand how to run sophisticated bluffs like this against the regulars in today's games by understanding player type, board texture, their likely range, and how their range, remember our fingers here, how their range connects with this board. If you can learn how to put all the pieces of the puzzle together like this, this is how you're going to be able to quickly move up in today's games, because you have to be able to bluff these decent regular opponents who take the game seriously, and you have to be able to think at a higher level than them and basically outplay them consistently in situations like this. This is something that I talk about at length in my brand new Elite Poker Training University. 90% of the videos in the course are talking about how to run sophisticated plays like this versus good players in higher stakes games these days. Enrollment is open right now. I'll include links to that in the description below. But guys, I hope this one was helpful. Like and subscribe if you want to see more poker strategy videos here on my YouTube channel. And also, if you want to know my entire strategy to start crushing the small stakes games right away, make sure to grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. That'll be the top link in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. All the best at the poker tables. I will catch you next time. This has been Nathan Williams with blackcurrant79.com.